Hi, I don't feel a high vibe, so I don't feel like greeting high vibers. If I'm not feeling in a good place, then I'm not gonna misrepresent myself as being like in that good place or that high place. And I'm feeling really defeated right now. Um, a couple weeks ago, I went out and had sushi with my mother, and the server was really cute, and I didn't know if he was flirting with me, but I just like wanted more than anything to not be the disabled person that I am. I wanted to be able to just go, "Hi, would you like to get to know one another?" Because that's really cool that you just helped me explain oil pulling to my mom. Like, we might be like minds. And I'm just not that person. But for a solid week, I was like trying to figure out how I could call the sushi place and talk to him, what I would say, and I just couldn't get very far. Like, well, we could try to schedule something, but I might cancel like 5 times, and it's not because I don't want to see you or I'm not a strong person. Um, you know, and and then it's like, well, maybe we could go see a movie. And then I was like, no, I mean, that's what I did with my mom. After we had sushi, was go see a movie, and by the end of the movie, sitting in the theater seat, I was like writhing and crying in pain. It was like, no, sitting up is kind of a hardship for me. So it was just like I really feel like I'm undateable. And at the time, I wasn't even like, I didn't even worry or think about the the fact that I believe that someone will come back around and love me, or that I want that, or anything like that. Like, it was just like, it just felt like so like I've like come up a level, or like I've really like it's really something that I would even remotely consider like inviting a new person into my life, with how much I've been hurt by deciding to do that in the past. Like, it just felt like so good and like strong, and like I'm overcoming my trauma if I'm thinking of doing that again, right? And so obviously I couldn't do that. And when I was entertaining that thought, my frame of reality was that I don't have to worry about not being taken care of, um, about being homeless. Like, I don't need to be out in the world looking for companionship because I need to be rescued. And then I was like, "Oh, I want to date this guy. I want to get to know this person." And now it feels like what that feeling that I felt in my heart like was like that it felt like woe to me. Like, I feel like my twin soul contract whatever person, like, our relationship dynamic changed from like friendly, caring, loving, fun, nice, as if me even entertaining the thought and not saying a word of it to him, not saying a word of it to him, even entertaining the thought of just like making a new friend, like, slam the door in his face. And like, he has just been resistance to me ever since. And I'm like, all I did was look away from you for a second. All I did was like think, oh, maybe I could invite people into my life. Maybe there is a possibility that I'm not stuck with someone who hates me. And the thing of it is that him resisting me and pushing me away, that's completely a reflection of the way I feel about him lately, because where he's like, he's feeling trapped and like he's stuck in this situation he doesn't want to be in and he doesn't want me in his life. That's how I feel about him, because he and I are not like in having fun mode together, and I don't like feeling like a burden, a chore, a cancer upon someone else's life. Like, that's not fair. I don't deserve that. I don't want that for myself. And it's really frustrating that because I am chronically ill, disabled, debilitated, dependent, like, I need another person in my home, really, to help me do life. Like, I don't have the luxury of being like, that guy's toxic, get rid of him. Like, I want a new friend, make a new friend. Like, I don't have options that other people have because the severity of my illness and my disability. Um, it's not like, oh, I just use a wheelchair. Like, I'm very sick. I'm very sick, and I feel like I feel like I'm not, like, in real life. Aside from these videos that I make, that I'm getting better at this, because I keep doing it. Aside from these videos I make in real life, talking with me, like me in person, is just like, no, I'm not good in person. I'm realist online, and I feel like if you don't pay attention to my Instagram, which is the all of the life affirming, the awesome in my life, it's what I curate so that I keep track of every moment I appreciate living, because there's a lot of dark times that I want to die. And if you don't pay attention to that and see how happy, loving, fun I am, then, like, you don't even know me. And here is this person in my life who comes and takes care of me like I'm a doddering old woman, and feels like I'm a chore, and he refuses to follow my feed on Insta. Like, he refuses to interact with me online, insisting on this in-person thing where I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain. We can watch that. Like, oh yeah, I mean, we had to go out and get chores done, but like, oh, I'm really brain dead now. Like, I'm not fun in person a lot of the time. Like, I'm like up for like maybe a 10-minute video, and that's really it. Like, literally everything I do, I post online. Like, I, that's me. That's me more than this is me. Even my gesturing, like, I'm using this arm to gesture because I'm right-handed, and this is how I feel. This is what I want to do when I talk. Like, this is taking a toll on me. I need to be very still and not emote and not express in real life. And the internet allows me to be more free and be more me. So if you get to know me online, I feel like you would like me, but if you get to know me in person, or if you only know me in person, then you're not going to want to have me in your life, because all that I'm going to be, or most of what I'm going to be, is like sick, intense, anxious, bad vibe. Like, I have so much social anxiety, and like this guy that I'm trying to interact, that I am interacting with, that I do want in my life, welcome in my life, I love him. He's damaged, he's traumatized, he has mental illness, there's a lot of stuff going on with him through no fault of his own, and because he cannot handle himself, he has years long verbally and psychologically been abusing me. So that's the dynamic. Like, when he's here, I'm like, eggshells, what am I gonna say that he's gonna freak out about? Like, I don't know. And it can be really hard to be present with someone who is just like, uh, yeah, like, he'll be really checked out, or he'll just like chatter. Like, he will just chatter about like just so much information so quickly. He loves to like, or he doesn't love it. He routinely has a habit of like listing things like really quickly, and he just like runs at the mouth all the time. Like he's not speaking to have a conversation with me. He's not interested in what I have to say in the least. I mean, this guy is like he doesn't give a shit what I'm doing in my life. He's not following me on Instagram. So like we just had a fight because I was like, we need craft supplies because we're gonna make a card for his mom, and we need craft supplies. And I was like, well, Hobby Lobby. And he was like, well, Hobby Lobby's evil. I don't want to give them my money. And I was like, yeah, but I think Hobby Lobby, like, we're just gonna, we need the craft supplies, and Hobby Lobby is gonna be our best bet. We can go to the dollar store first and see what they have there. Maybe they'll have things cheaper. Um, and that became a huge fight because apparently I invalidated him and violated him by taking him to Hobby Lobby and insisting that we go to Hobby Lobby to get craft supplies. And here's where I don't understand it, because I don't see how it's different. That is different than him and both of us being like, screw KFC, that is the worst chicken place. Like, there are better chicken places if we're gonna eat conventional, and if we're gonna like fall off the meat wagon and eat meat, like there are better places we can do that. Screw KFC. And like he says that all the time, and then like the other day shows up and he has KFC sandwiches, and like he went to KFC. Like, we routinely acknowledge that the world is evil and bad and we don't want to participate in it, but then we continue to participate in it because guess what? Stuff from Walmart is cheap. You know, like, I really didn't think that it was like, that going to Hobby Lobby after acknowledging that Hobby Lobby is not a good business we want to support was any different than him saying he didn't want to support KFC and then eating KFC when he was hungry and it was convenient. But he felt that it was, and that was just like a sign that I was a bad person in his life, and it just, like, everything went very, very sideways, uh, because he hadn't realized, because he wasn't paying attention to my Instagram. He didn't care to look at my Instagram. He didn't see the 30 pictures from Michael's. Like, if he had known, like, his perception when he's, like, getting really bent out of shape that I insisted we go to Hobby Lobby, and at no point did he put his foot down and say, I'm absolutely not spending my money at Hobby Lobby, I am not entering that threshold. Like, he just was like, I don't want to do that, but okay, and went along with it. And at the register, I was like, can you get my bag out, my backpack on my wheelchair, can you get my bag out so I can pay? And he was like getting his money out, and I was like, oh, do you have money? You have money for this? And he was like, I do have money, and paid. And it's like that was another opportunity that he didn't have to pay his money. Like, I was gonna pay. Like, it's weird. But his perspective is, he didn't know that I went to Michael's because he doesn't give a shit about what's going on in my life and doesn't want to look at my Instagram good vibe, awesome life stuff. So he thought that I was just like dragging him to the place he didn't want to go to against his will, when there was a perfectly good place that wasn't challenging his ideas and emotions. Like, it was like, from his perspective, I was like intentionally putting him through something, and or just like being a bitch to be a bitch about it, or like, I want to go to Hobby Lobby, you're taking me to Hobby Lobby. Like I acknowledge that Hobby Lobby does not have good business practices either, but they still have the craft supplies that I need, and Michael's doesn't. Or Michaels charges more for their craft supplies than Hobby Lobby does. And, like, we are on a shoestring budget to make this welcome home card. So, yeah, if he had just been participating in my life, he wouldn't have felt the way that he felt. But he's been trying to do this thing where, like, he's just barely in my life, and it just makes everything so much worse. And I think it's unreasonable. His expectation is that he doesn't need to follow me on social media. I can just text him updates and let him know what I've been up to, and it's like, dude, like, that is so much harder than just, like, posting about it as I go along. Like, so you expect me to post at Instagram, post at Twitter, post at Facebook, and post you? Like, I pretty much don't do Facebook anymore. I linked Instagram to Facebook, so it just, like, feeds it, and I very rarely, like, I don't really participate on Facebook very much. And Twitter is, like, the whole picture, but because everything good is on Instagram, like, you can totally, like, look at my pretty pictures, and then, if you follow me at Twitter, it's like, oh, look, and now she can't get off of the floor. It's like, you know, and I feel like I have a really good sense of humor and perspective about dealing with chronic illness, and, like, someone could be in my life having this interaction and we could be role playing, and I'm like, servant, get me this, and good boy, and like, it could be more fun than it is, and more lighthearted, and, like, someone might be out there who doesn't feel super put out by doing life with me. Can that person be a platonic friend? That I don't know, because I've only gotten that feedback from people who claimed they were in love with me, truly believed they were in love with me. They said, even doing chores with you, Mindy, doesn't feel like chores because life with you is fun. So, that is, just feeling, like, really hopeless that I'm not going to be able to date or make friends or have friends. One of the other things we got in a fight over is, like, a Facebook acquaintance is moving and was offering me furniture that she didn't want, and I just wanted to go pick it up, and, like, but really wanted to, like, interact with that friend, and, like they're busy doing stuff and it's not a hangout, but, like, I would get to see her and, like, maybe cultivate a friendship, because really, like, this is an acquaintance that I want to be friends with, but I'm, like, not friends with. Such friend material. And so I was like, hey, Sean, can we go pick that up? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, okay, actually what he said was, ugh, whatever, sure. And I was like, that's, like, a really piss poor attitude. I don't want to do life with piss poor attitude people, and that won't be fun for me to sit in the 20-minute car ride on the way over and on the way back. And it'll make me all awkward and like an abused, beaten wife in front of the person I want to be friends with, and not paint a good picture of the person I want in my life, who, like, when my former friend, roommate, person that cares for me is, like, happy and likes doing life, like, they are so much fun to be around, and people love him, but, like, they don't love him when they know him through me, because he treats me like shit. Or not even like shit, like, he's really passive aggressive, actually. He's really passive aggressive, and what he does is just make me feel like shit very, very subtly, and, yeah, very rarely does anyone actually, like, hear him, like, insult me or anything like that. Like, they're just like, it seems like he hates you, Mindy. Like, you want him in your life, and it seems like he hates you. Like, are you sure you're not just using him? And it's like, well, if I'm using him, I would just happily trade him in for any other boy, because I am miserable, and I deserve better than this. But, yeah. So, anyway, he said, ugh, sure, whatever. And I was like, fine, then we won't do it. And then 10 minutes later, he's like, oh, no, I thought about it. It's not that big a deal. And you really want it. You really want it. Like, I don't care, but you want it. And I'll do this thing for you. And I was like, I mean, I was away from my phone at that point, you know, like the communication was over. I told my friend on Facebook, like, not going to pick it up. I can't do that. He doesn't want to. And, well, I was done with it. So, like, I was, like, away from my keyboard. And now he's coming back and being like, oh, I'll do it. And then he's mad at me that I didn't let him pick up the furniture. And it's like, that is really confusing. So I sent him an email explaining the whole, like, doing things for me versus with me and the energy that we put into the experience. Like, if I'm a good egg and you're a bad egg and we make a cake, the cake's not going to be good because a bad egg was used. And that's how we keep having really not so great experiences in real life when we do things, because we're not doing it together with love and releasing expectations and wanting to have a good time. Like, you feel like you're being dragged to do something that I want to do, and that's lousy. I'm sick of that. I don't want to do that anymore. So yeah, it was like, let's not go get the furniture. Like, and I wasn't bitter or mad about it. I wasn't like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, if I only had that. Like, I'm not a bitch like that, man. Like, I'm not like that. And yeah. I'm really lonely. I'm really lonely, and being isolated and removed from society is not good for your mental well-being. And having 8 hugs a day, loving contact with another human being reduces stress and chemicals in the body that cause inflammation and disease. So for my betterment, and because I don't want to be a disabled person for the rest of my life, I really want someone who is blasting me with loving energy and is, like, happy to come over and see me, because, like, look at me, aren't I amazing? Like, if I played with dolls and I clean the house and I get the cat fed every day and I feed myself every other day, like, I'm doing so good. Like, you don't care. Like, so yeah, I felt like I didn't want him in my life anymore. I would really be open to a future in which I was platonically shacked up with someone who enjoyed taking care of me and spending time with me. And as soon as that expressed itself in the way of this person coming into my reality and me being like, ooh, wow, there are cool people out there. Like, yeah, this really feels real. Like, I could make friends. Like, I can have a life and let this guy off the hook. Like, as soon as that happened, it was just backlash. Like, so I don't know. I don't know what to say. Just taking it one day at a time, dealing with things as they come. I don't think I'll be cleaning that kitchen. They're coming to inspect the infestation level. Can you see? No, you can't see that. I don't know why I even tried that. That was lame. Infestation, they're coming to, like, inspect the kitchen area, and the kitchen is, like, the trashed part of my house. I did like picking up around the rest of it, and, like, you can, you know, like, really just, like, pick things up and move things around, sit on the floor and organize and, like, do with one arm. Dishes are not something that can really be done without using your other arm. And, like, that's the situation that I'm at. And that's why dishes just pile up, because doing dishes causes me so much pain that it's like, yeah. But I asked him to come do the dishes today, and I won't talk to him at all, just please clean the kitchen, and he just flat out said no. He doesn't want me in his life at all. He accused me of doing a curse on his mom. If I knew that she had surgery, like, he didn't want to tell me she had surgery because he was afraid I would do a curse on his mom. And it's like he's behaving really irrationally. That doesn't even make sense. And like, he knows me more than anyone and better than anyone else should, that absolutely everyone's an expression of myself. Anything I put out into the world, I'm going to get back. Anything I do to another person, I am actually doing to myself and incurring the wrath of karma. And like, there's no logical way that I would do that. And then I'm also just like not an evil person. So yeah, I don't know. I just I think it's impossible to date when you are needing, when there's a space open in your life where you need someone to be significant other level or best friend level, roommate level. It's impossible to go out into the world and meet someone. That's what I think. That's what I feel. That's been my experience. And I don't want to just latch on to the next person that enters my life. That's lame. I shouldn't have to do that for survival. And being disabled sucks. Hard stuff, not fun. I don't know.